A lot of you are using AI. How are you doing it specifically? Most of us probably are using it like we used to use Google, asking a question. And if you go back in time to AOL and Ask Jeeves and Yahoo Search, well, maybe you're still using it that way. It can actually do a little bit more than that. While it can search, the results it's going to give you are kind of different than a Google search. If you remember, Google searches usually came in and they were scored by precedence, by the way that they had their different algorithm contained and produced, so it would actually show results based on that algorithm. And I think Google probably had the best idea that caused them to climb to the top of the fluff to be able to give you the best results possible. And what are best results? Well, they're going to be probably the ones that are corresponding to what they're saying. So instead of having a page that's just stuffed with keywords, the same phrase over and over and over again, it's going to be real tangible data. Maybe it's going to be constructed in a certain way. Maybe it's going to have a certain relevant keyword structure. Maybe there's going to be some kind of a back-end architecture or something that you don't see on the written page. And on the written page itself, maybe it's going to have certain items that Google believes is important. Then it's also going to have relevance. So it's going to be tied into maybe other posts by other people, other organizations giving credit back to you for writing something that caused a lot of good attention, positive attention, or even bad attention. But whatever the method or proximity of the post is to these other items, these other sites, these other people that are referring it, they look at all that as particular signals. And then in the post itself, it's going to look for its own weight. How long has the website been around? What is the website constructed to do? Have there been any complaints or any kind of other issues with the website? Is there some kind of social media presence tied to the website? Where are those links from that landing page going? So whenever you typed in a search on best real estate agent near me or whatever, Google then pulls in a geolocational tag in an area and it's going to give you the top results, usually starting with paid ads. So you're going to see that Google pay-per-click action going up at the top. You're going to see websites like Zillow and Redfin, Compass. They're paying a lot of money for that type of placement. Then as you move down the page, you're probably going to see some kind of a local venue, maybe the 3 or the 5 top local agents that are corresponding on that page by level of reviews, rankings, and also their engagement with their Google My Business page. And then, of course, after that, you finally get to the organic search. So it used to be the joke back in the day, you want to hide a dead body, put it on Google page 2. And in this case, you want to be above the fold, but typically on most types of search, real estate or otherwise, that above the fold section, well, it's not present for people that are just trying to score organically unless you're paying a lot of money to the sponsored search. And then you might get a little bit more blessing to be on that front page of Google. But now search is completely different. Search is now typically done with some kind of an AI engine or an artificial intelligence large language model. That's usually how people are doing it now. And that's going to just become more prevalent in the future. Now, there's probably still quite a few people out there that are using Google because they're not paying for the large language model and they haven't really dipped their toe all the way into that world. But sooner than later, that's probably going to be the only choice. You can see the Google overlay now has Google Intelligence slapped onto it. So even when you're doing that search, a lot of times it's bringing in those results that Gemini would produce. Now, for business owners, lots of people are talking about that particular placement online pertaining to their business. And your business is important to get placed in there. How do you do it? It's going to come down to a particular structure of content. Now, you're going to be able to do it. Of course, you want to make sure you have My Business page and have that thing activated. And if you're having a struggle with that, there are ways to fight the system. And it might be that you're a single operator operating out of an office in your house. It's probably going to want additional validation to be able to place you into that particular world. But once you get in there, the placement's pretty good. And it does give you a free form of advertising because it gives you that locality that Zillow and these other major systems can't get. You being a local agent, for example, or a local roofer, if there's some conglomerate of national roofing people all over the world, you're going to get higher placement because you're even better Saugus or even better Canyon Country, even a more niche section. You have your business registered that way on Google My Business. It's lovely and it does work out for you. When you're putting content together, when you're putting blog posts, and I know you might be watching this saying blog posts, well, I haven't done any of that. Well, you're probably missing out on a lot of content. I have a couple people I'm working with, one of which has a branding consultation firm, and she has really started to hit it out of the park because she's writing content. she's writing blog content. And that blog content, because it is keyword rich and it's seemingly more rare than it's ever been, it's giving her lots of traffic back to that blog post, that blog page, and her website. So people are seeing it, interacting with it. And what we also did is I took an AI voice agent that's programmed about her business and everything about her, and I placed that on each individual page. So when people go and they look at the blog, there's this little thing down in the corner that says you want to hear or understand more about this blog post. Do you have any questions about it? Would you like to get some more research on this? You want to get some more data on this? And that particular bot is able to provide links, able to provide information, and have a discussion with them. Now, this can be voice or type or both. So that's the capability of it. And that lives everywhere. So there's a different one that's been constructed for the main site. There's one for the blog landing page, and they all have different introductions. Maybe on the main site, they're not going to want to know any more about a particular article, but maybe about the particular business owner and the service that they offer. Then when you move over to the blog landing page, maybe they're getting there. They see all these cards, the different content, the different articles that have been written. Maybe they just want a little bit more understanding as to what this is and maybe a better direction. Maybe to post up possible future blog posts that they might have interest in that might not exist on this particular page. And then finally, when they get into the blog post, will they see that information? So when you're writing this content, you're tying it in with all of your social media, of course. So there's hyperlinks, basically the blue text or some kind of a raw link embedded into the page that people are able to click on to get more information about you. The importance of that, what's interesting is some people are still having that open up in the same window. So you're losing that traffic on your site. Now you've left. And that doesn't do good for search. And I've seen people that are supposedly experts in this field that have a lot less time on the job than me, but probably have a lot more sheepskins to back up their education. They're still having this land in the same page. What I mean is when you click on a link and that page reloads with the new location, that doesn't help your business. It should be an extra link outside of that. So it should open up a new browser tab and keep that one browser tab where they were looking at your business specifically, keep the adherence to it. Now, where are they going? They're probably going to some other property you have, but usually that property isn't like your website, your blog, your information. Usually it's something else, maybe Substack, maybe your Instagram page, maybe a Facebook business page. So they're leaving you. They're still going to your property, but it's still Facebook, it's still Instagram, but they're still both Meta, but it's other properties other than your site. Now, if you have hyperlinks to other articles in there, that's an oorah, good. So now they're going to transfer into that, but it still should open up in a new page. So that's just general understanding from an SEO point of view. Now, of course, there's lots of new 3-letter acronyms, even a 4-letter acronym, and people are talking about placement, online, and content. Something for your business you might want to consider is you have the SEO term, the search engine optimization. Then you have the AEO, which is answer engine optimization, AIEO, artificial intelligence engine optimization, and GEO, generative engine optimization, or geographical or geolocational. I've seen it said all 3 ways, but basically it's just tying in your Google Maps location. And if you are on Google My Business, then you get to have that extra benefit of having a central location tied to a mapping software that now is tied to general search, not only on Gemini, but also some of the other systems that are using Google search as their underlayer for their mapping sequence. And you're going to see that in different organizations are going to use Google Maps. They offer an API key. When I'm doing research online, trying to pull information about businesses, whatever I think I built out that's really wazoo and exciting, then I'll use that research. I'll use that Google Maps API to go scrape content and find businesses that don't have what I offer and see if I can help them out. So that's a very simple form of using it, but a more complex form would be to have that embedded into your particular blog post and structure back to your business, because that's going to get additional of validation, more certification content. It's going to show that your business is living in a much more way instead of just having one forward-facing website or even just a Facebook page or group. And finally, I'll close with this. It's surprising to me that a lot of agents, real estate agents in particular, you're using the website that their brokerage maintains. And that's okay, but it's not their own traffic. It's not their own thing. A better place to be. And I know agents struggle with this because they're getting sold a whole bunch of hooey all across the board. But if you have your own domain, whatever that is, and you buy it yourself. You go to Cloudflare or GoDaddy or whatever. I seem to like that one. Kind of moved to GoDaddy, but there's nothing wrong with GoDaddy except for the renewals seem to get a little bit more expensive. But you get your domain name, whatever it is, your name or some kind of clever phrase. If you're getting a clever phrase, you got to check sure you're not buying somebody else's trademark. But usually, if it's available, especially in a .com domain name, usually you're going to okay. But don't take my word for it. Do your research. There is a whole method of checking the trademark coalition, the trademark site, just to see the trademarks and patent website to find out if there's something close. But again, you make that decision. But your name, yeah, usually good. Probably not trademarked unless it's, well, I don't know, John Smith. That's probably not even available. But that's the step. Once you get that, then you build something out. And I think a good suggestion, a good beginning of that would be talking about what you like, the things that you do, maybe not only business-wise, maybe some personal-wise skating. You can talk about that. I would just put together a Google Doc, and I tell people this all the time. Whenever you're getting ready to interact with a large language model, let's say you haven't really gotten there all the way in yet, but now you want to be, I would start by preparing some kind of a document spoken into your phone, have it convert the text or the speech to text. It's the easiest way. And then you can even do this on your laptop computer, or even on your phone. You have a voice app. And just go ahead and record all about you, all about business, and then let the large language model, extract information that's going to be most relevant to the people that are searching for what you do, whatever your type of business happens to be. If you're a roofer, you might want to consider some of the new things that I've built out, maybe a calculator for roofing, that potential value add for a property by installing a roof, by getting a good deal on a roof, what that value add could be if you're considering selling a property or even just to have the value in it. Same with painting, same with landscaping. Those calculators are definitely buildable and programmable to be able to correspond to any particular market. And they just use offline MLS data and that core logic type data to be able to pull in the information and be able to offer that in a calculator form. So whenever you have a consumer going to your site, same thing with real estate agents, a commission calculator, one of these things. Closing cost calculators are cool. People like these items. So with your content, understanding how to build it, and then understanding how to build a site or a page corresponding or even a system like I put in place that's going to have all those bells and whistles. I talked about the AI voice system. I talked about other things, those calculators on a page, because people get there. And if they do click enter page to find other resources you have, like your blog, it's up in something new. So your website just doesn't show they came and they left. It shows they're still sticky, still there. That signal back to the different large language models is going to be important. How you get on those large language model systems is you have to be that expert. You're going to have to tie in your social media content with it. It's a whole thing, but it's not that complicated. You just have to do the work, and you have to do it every day, and you have to do it without fail. And even if you have nothing good to talk about, well, you got to talk about something, so you might as well put it out there. You'd be surprised what the videos I produce, the ones that really have nothing good to say, how they hit harder than the ones where I think I have the most brilliant idea on the planet. It's remarkable. So don't be afraid of doing content. Get it out there, publish it, and hold off for a lot of people I talk to. They're just scared to ship, right? They get done, but it's like, oh, God, they watch it 50 times. I'm not going to watch this at all. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put some the captions here. And then I might throw a website on here somewhere. And I'm going to publish it to YouTube, and I'm going to send it out to all the agents in my network. I'm going to send it out to the people that I know and love, and I'm going to show them that maybe some of this is going to help them. And if it doesn't help them particularly, it might help somebody they know. So I'm going to share it, and we'll see what happens. But I do content like this. If you have a roofing business or a plumbing business or real estate business or whatever it is, you might want to do kind of the same type of content. Now, I can tell people how great I am and how, I'm the 5 best looking people on the planet, all this other horse shit. It doesn't help. I can tell them about my vacation, about the fancy cars I have, which I don't, or how the nice level of medical insurance, which I don't. But I could go into all that too, but people don't want to see that. People want to learn something. People want to watch content that helps them build what they're trying to build. And right now, we all started as entrepreneurs in this back at the beginning of the life cycle, and it looks like that's kind of where it's going. So if you need that mindset, you might want to connect with a coach, connect with me. I know some really good people that can kind of tear out the top portion of your head and put in that entrepreneurial spirit in there and close it up and let you go. Just wind you up and let you go. I think that's helpful. All right, Connor with Honor. We'll see you in the next one. Please be safe out there. There's a lot going on. Pay attention. Don't be so quick to get out of your car. Don't be so quick to, open your door and drive out right away. Just give it a second. Take some time. If you're in the shopping center, shopping mall, grocery store, when you're going to your car, don't be in such a hurry. If you see weird notes or papers on your car, ignore them. The setup, they want you to go grab that note so they can just you see it later. Drive away. Look at it later, and if it flies away, it wasn't meant to be. Nobody's ever made $1 million off of responding to a piece of paper that's stuck on the back window of their car under the back windshield wiper. So watch yourselves, be careful out there, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. I have a stop button here, but I just can't get to it. I found it. See you tomorrow.